I think what was really helpful is it wasn't, this is an FRC, this is the OT, this is the PT. It was, this is Mary Ann, this is Pam, I'm Brian, you know, and the way that they did it made it very peer-to-peer. And I think that out of the gate, that kind of initial introduction piece where it's not, I'm not Christian's mom, I'm not Julian's mom, I'm Julie.
We were assigned a speech pathologist at the time who came out to our house and an occupational therapist, and they were wonderful. I never knew I could use my laundry basket in so many ways as a therapy tool, but it's true, and it was very helpful actually taking items out of the home and being taught how I could teach my child how to crawl, how to sit, how to maneuver. This is where it got real exciting for me to really be a part of the whole plan.
What was difficult for me was having people come into the home all the time. Because I had people coming in sometimes 6 times a week, along with a lot of doctor appointments and that type of thing. So although I can't say it was difficult for me, but it was very heavy for Dad. And I feel that perhaps it would have been beneficial to revisit the family dynamic. Although I was the point person, it would have been good to encourage Dad to be more a part of that process, because eventually it was almost as if he was out of the loop completely. And I was the one being taught, I was the one doing things. And I don't know that he felt valued enough in the process.
When I went through early intervention, it was pre-natural environments. And there was still that focus on the family, but I'm not sure that it was quite as centered as it is now. I think it was always there, but it was more center-based. And so my services, I don't think that I had a whole lot to say about it. I could say yes or no, I wanted them.
We had a lot of times where it was a weekly visit, and it was either in our home if they were able to, and our schedules worked, or it was going to the district or the school that they had. There was a couple of elementary schools, Mountain View and I think Evergreen, where we would be able to go and meet, and we would have about an hour, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour's time, where we could sit and she would work with Natalie on different exercises and talking with me on things that we could practice at home. Just different activities and using home things rather than going out and have to purchase things. When my son was able to come in and they saw how they interacted with each other, they were able to make the goals on different plays and different things, playing activities and things, just normal, so that it didn't, when we were at home, it didn't look as if I was putting them through a training. It was them just having fun and playing, but being able to recommend to my son, because he was a little bit older, to encourage him in his actions in what to do to help encourage Natalie.
I was very much a part of what I thought that we needed help with, but at the same time, I appreciated their expertise in saying, this is the areas that we see that your child falls short in, and these are the things we can do to help him in those areas. So it was, I think, very much a back and forth. So the expectation was, these are the services that we suggest that your child receive, and if you feel comfortable with this, and these are the goals that we feel that we can help your child accomplish, bring your child to the center, and then we can help your child reach those goals, and helping us to figure out how to incorporate that into our everyday living, and helping us to continue to model those things that we learned in therapy at home, and how everybody in the family could take part in Brandon's therapy. This is what Grandma can do when Grandma has him. This is what Auntie can do when Auntie's with him. This is what the cousins can do. They were very good about always helping us figure out how we incorporate the strengths that Brandon had into our everyday life, even though the services were not completely done in the home.
But had I been introduced to maybe some other parents, or it had been suggested that I get involved in some parent groups, I think that would have been really beneficial and perhaps even helped keep my family together. But without having any of that support, I really thought we were alone, and I think there was some judgments made within our own family about how people were handling things. And I think we were each going, my partner and I were going through different stages at different times. And talking to other families, I think, would have been really beneficial, or getting support outside of each other, because we were both very tapped.
With the Birth to 3 program, they recommended a parent-to-parent group. I think that was really exciting for me, was to see other kids going through the same kind of situations, and to see the parents and know that I wasn't the only one, that there were so many more parents out there that were dealing with it, and on so many other different levels. And it was really nice to be able to come together and talk.
I appreciated as a parent that I had the opportunity to talk with other moms that were there for the same reason I was there, that had children with similar strengths and weaknesses that my child had. I can remember after my daughter was born, she's 2 years younger, and so we were in therapy when she was born, and Brandon wasn't able to walk at that time still. And there was a mom that had therapy right before I did, and she was in the same situation I was. She had a child with cerebral palsy that couldn't walk, and she had a little baby that obviously couldn't walk. And I'd ask her, how do you do this? How do you go to the grocery store with 2 kids that can't walk? And so she would give me her little tips. Well, you find the shopping cart that's parked out in Timbuktu. You park next to that one, you get 1 kid out at a time, and then you go into the grocery store. It's like, oh wow, this is how you do this. And so sharing those just life lessons with each other was so important. And I think when we talk about the family, yes, Brandon was getting the services that he needed, but for me, that piece for me as a mom to cope and to be able to do something as simple as go grocery shopping with 2 kids that don't walk was amazing. I mean, that was life-changing for me.
The learning that I was getting from the educators coming in through the Birth to 3, they were addressing immediate needs. They were addressing the 2 boys' dynamics. They weren't addressing what this was doing to the family unit.
We didn't talk as much about how the family works, and that's another thing that I know was mentioned. I know it came up, and I know that our Birth to 3 teacher that came out, I know that our family resource coordinator and the community health nurse all made reference to it. And I know that they all believed that it was a really big deal for people to be paying attention to that dynamic.